Welcome back, lovelies. This episode brings you to the Santa Monica Pier, something that was a really big part of my childhood. Paid quite a few visits to it. It never ceases to amazes me even to this day. There's always something, weird about it. Something that always happens there, whether it's a fight, some gang dudes trying to drown each other, some homeless dude dancing in the middle of the street, some guy trying to sell me something. Yeah, I've probably experienced it all. And hey, you know something that's also different about this area? This is probably the very first time that I had the near-death experience. So, as a little kid, I almost got killed. I'm gonna have to show you guys sometime where I almost got killed as a little kid. And it's nowhere near what you guys think, but I almost died in this area. So here's that famous sign that Forrest Gump ran through before he ran across the world, the United States or something like that. And somewhere here is one of my favorite joints that I'll have to show you guys in a bit. Here's the other side of the pier, where the only way you can access this right now, just because of what's going on. So yeah, it was a really hot summer day, just burning up, terrible. So you just feel like cooling down, bringing the friends, the chicas, going out there to hang out, just chill. And then, I lost my track of thought. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, skating. So yeah, you can skate down Santa Monica. Just they have a little path there that you can take. So yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm losing my track of thought here. And you can play volleyball with friends too. Yeah. Till the sun goes down. And then what happens after that when the sun goes down? So while a lot of people like to play in Santa Monica during the day, I was one of those few that loved to visit it at night. Even now. So this was where I used to play games a lot. The Playland Arcade. This is what it looked like when I first went, and it's undergone a few changes, so there's a lot to cover when it comes to gaming at this area. So I'm going to start off with this game here called Ninja Gun. This is the only place that I've found this game. It's not really a video game. It's more like one of those analog point and shoot things. So you can see the little paper things that pop up. You see lights, and in a bit it just goes crazy. And I've never really seen anything like this anywhere else. Maybe those little penny arcade games at Disneyland, but check this out. This is like pretty primitive, and not too many people played this game. I just remember popping in my quarter and thinking that the game didn't work, but I was just a very terrible shot. I saw some other dude play this game and just knock it out of the ballpark, and as the time progresses, every ninja comes out, things go dark, and you see the projections and all that, and it just goes really crazy. And it was just one of those really unique games that you can only find something like this in San Francisco at the the Mechanic Museum, which sadly burned, but not all the way, so it's still up. But something that makes this game even more interesting are the guts inside of it. It runs on all these different relays, an 8-track system, and Santa Monica had like a whole row of these, and I just remember that one in particular. Now, this game, it often gets confused for something else. This one's called Mechanized Attack, and it was among one of those, the gun games. And this one takes, it borrows elements from Schwarzenegger movies, from Rambo movies. You can see the blatant ripoff of the Terminator. And I wasn't a really big fan of this one in particular, because every time that I pop my quarter in this, I die like 20 seconds later. But you got guys that are hardcore, they bring in their fistful of quarters. You can play as like a Steven Seagal looking dude or a Terminator, but it's just you behind the trigger, so you can't even tell when you actually play the game. So you start off with your first mission. they're landing, and just see how crazy it gets. As soon as I start, look at this. Bam, 5 guys shooting at you, ships coming out from all over the place. You try to defend yourself, but you get hit no matter what. And so I think I only last like 1 minute in this game, and already you face your very first boss. And I found out just a little secret, but I mean it's gonna cost you a bit, but you don't really need to beat the level boss. If you just like popped in your quarter and just sit there, the submarine just destroys himself. And so it's just kind of weird where I just figured it out because the gun didn't work. And that's what sucked about these arcade games, that sometimes the game itself didn't work. And so I tried throwing my grenades at this guy, I tried to blow everything up, and he just kills me right here. See, in just less than a minute, you're like, oh my god, you are dead. So that's why I wasn't a huge fan of the gun games over there. I mean, it's like every so often I just watch somebody play, but they weren't really my thing. A really big quarter wasting thing, especially when you don't know what you're doing. But the joy of going to Santa Monica is just the amount of games you can play over there. You got choices galore. You got the classic games, you got the gun games, you got the fighting games, everything. But see, one of my favorites that I played over there, and I seem to be one of the only few people that played it, was this game right here, Smash TV. One of my big time favorites. And if you're a big fan of Schwarzenegger movies, then you'll remember The Running Man. And this game in particular takes pages from that movie, where you have a contestant that goes into a game show to fight for his life. Only this guy gets to have a gun with unlimited ammo. You just get to shoot everything in sight, make it to the level boss. But I got an interesting story about this game, specifically this game. So one time these guys in like suits, they look like those guys from American Psycho, you know, the Patrick Bateman looking dudes. And one of them decides that he's gonna watch me play, and then he's like, hey, how do you play this game? And so I explained to him that, hey, one joystick controls the guy, the other joystick controls the gun. And if you've never played this game, it's kind of weird. It's got 2 joysticks. It doesn't really have buttons except for the start button. So this guy decides he wants to join the game, and whatever, I'm down, I could use the help. And so one thing that I like about this game, or find funny, is that they borrowed it also from RoboCop. Check this out. Look at that. Looks just like it. He even uses that line, I'd buy that for $1 on the second level. So as we play this game, we reach this level boss, and it's the first time I've ever reached this level boss. I don't have enough money to get to this guy, you know, on my first try. And I die. And so as I'm about to leave, this guy, he's like, hey, where you going, kid? He's like, I can't beat this guy. And I told him I'm out of quarters. So what does this Patrick Bateman looking guy do? He goes into his coat pockets and whips out like a fistful of quarters and just slams them down. And he's like, here you go, join in the game, help me beat this guy. So I'm over here like, okay, whatever, dude, free quarters. And so by this time, his boys, they were like, you know what, we're bored, we want to go drink or whatever. I don't know, they said something along the lines. And so they decide they're gonna ditch him. They said, all right, we're gonna meet you at the bar. Or I don't know, like I said, I don't talk business, especially when I'm playing video games. And so after we like tag team this boss and we beat the crap out of him and bloodbath galore, all that, he's like, all right, well, nice game, kid, I'm gonna go take off now. And so he leaves the quarters there, and I ask him, hey, what about your quarters here? And he just goes, have at it, have fun, and just takes off. And I was like, holy crap, I just went big, just like this vato right here. And it was just like a really strange encounter to all of a sudden go from having $2 in quarters to like a fistful of quarters. I don't know how much was in it. I just went on a gaming spree after that. But I don't know who that vato was. Maybe he owns that whole joint. Maybe he owns Santa Monica by now. Maybe he was investing in that amusement park they have there. I don't know. But it's kind of weird seeing these guys in suits when even to this day you don't see guys in suits there. Unless they're doing some sort of business transaction. I don't know. Maybe a drug deal? Maybe the dude was mafia. I don't know. But it was cool what he did. But hey, now I'm gonna let you guys know a big secret. See this guy right here? It says Brunos. This is the only clue I'm gonna give you on where this place is at. But this is my secret hiding spot. This is where you can get some of the best Italian food in California. Now, right now, yeah, there's a pandemic situation going on. You got the Mona Lisa at least wearing a mask. See that seat right there? I probably sat in that seat like 20 years ago. But you know, the big history that I have here is that this is where I had my very first cup of coffee. And I was like Gollum, you know, I was like, hey, it's my precious, it's my nice cup of coffee. And Bruno's coffee is awesome. Just as good as his food, man. It's just awesome. And this is where I like to go even now. I'm glad that that same dude is still there. Bruno, the guy that owns it, the guy that cooks the food, yeah, he's still there. And just look at that, man. That's like the best pizza you can even find in commercials. And that's the real deal there. That's not fake. And you know what happens with the coffee? He serves it up and bam! New cup of coffee right there. He's on it, man. Put some cream and sugar on that and bam! It's just gonna make your night. Yeah, of course I was here in the day just to film this, but this is where we'd go late nights. And what goes good with a nice cup of coffee? A nice cannoli. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. And you know what's kind of weird? Is I've never seen the front of Bruno's. And to this day, I think I'm going to keep it that way. But I want you guys to do me a favor these days. Go support this guy. Support your local people. We all need to help each other right now. You guys be good to each other. And thank you guys for watching.